Today's video doesn't need too much introduction. Mac and cheese is already a masterpiece, but let's throw in some turkey bacon, breadcrumbs, bake it, and you are in business, my friend. So let's go somewhere where there's cheese. To the kitchen. Alright, let's get our big old pot here heated up on the stove, adding a couple tablespoons of butter or substitute. This is going to be enough for a pound and a half of pasta, so we're making a big old portion today. We'll add in half of a large diced onion and a few tablespoons of garlic. These are optional, but they're just going to give a ton of flavor to the base of our sauce. We'll cook these down for a few minutes over medium heat, just releasing all that good natural flavor. And now we're going to make a roux. Normally you're doing equal parts of flour and butter. In this case, I want it to be a little bit thinner, so a couple tablespoons of butter is what we use. So I'm going to add a little bit less than 2 tablespoons of flour because I don't want it to get too thick, because the cheese is really going to help thicken it up. So I'm going to add in some flour slowly till I get just under 2 tablespoons. Mix that over low heat until the flour cooks out. It'll clump up, and once it looks kind of dry like this is when you can start adding your liquid to it. I'm going with 1% milk. You could use whatever you'd like. I'm going 4 cups in total, so I'm just going to add them 1 cup at a time. Give it a good stir just to make sure that the roux is kind of cooking and melting into it, and then I'll repeat this, going with another cup, giving it a good stir, another cup, giving it a good stir. You get the idea. And then we're just going to cook this over low heat until it starts to thicken naturally. The roux is going to take over and do its thing and thicken our sauce, and there you go. Basically, after a few minutes of cooking on low, we have a bechamel sauce, which we're going to turn into a cheese sauce for a wonderful mac and cheese. Going from left to right, we have pepper jack, cheddar, and parmesan. Pepper jack obviously gives it a nice little bit of a kick. The cheddar is just so classic and creamy for this, and the parmesan has a nice nutty, sweet, kind of salty bite that I think goes really well with this. I had grated that cheese myself from blocks, which works way better for this. I used about 12 ounces of each of the first two, and then about maybe 6 to 8 ounces of the parmesan. You just want to add it in slowly and give it a good stir, doing this over medium to medium low heat. In the beginning, you just want to start slowly adding the cheese and whisking it in. As time goes on, you can kind of add more and more, and the sauce can take it, and it will just melt and thicken up, and you can just kind of get progressively faster as you go. And we're just going to want to season this really nicely with some salt, pepper, and I throw in a pinch of chili powder, completely optional, but I just like that slight little subtle kick that it gives it. So give it a taste. But now we have a luscious, creamy, delicious cheese sauce that we can put to the side temporarily while we get a big pot of water boiling. Season it well with plenty of salt, and then we will get our pound and a half of pasta into this pot, and you can use any kind of pasta that you want. I'm going with elbows, and I found these jumbo elbows. I think they look really, really cool. It's kind of like a classic macaroni shape for mac and cheese, but these are bigger, so I think they're really cool. Drain them really, really well, and then while they're still hot, we're going to start ladling in our cheese sauce and giving it a good mix. And this is the best time to do it while the cheese sauce is still hot, the pasta is still hot, because they're going to kind of get cohesive and become one nice dish. You want to mix everything while it's nice and hot, so they'll really come together very, very nicely. So just ladle in your cheese sauce, give it a good mix until you have everything in there, and there you go. Believe me, I got nothing against the stuff that comes out of a blue box. I love that too, but this is a pretty awesome mac and cheese. It's creamy, it's cheesy, it's delicious. I mean, the shape is unique. Season it with a little bit more salt and pepper until you get it to your liking. And again, if you want to serve it just like this, boom, you got yourself a great mac and cheese. But I want to kick it up a notch, so I will crisp up some turkey bacon in a pan, and you could literally use whatever you want here. This is where you can get creative and add whatever you like. I like turkey bacon, so once it's nice and crispy like this, I will put it to the side. And to that same pan, I'll get in some fresh olive oil, a tablespoon of garlic, and then some spinach. This is frozen spinach, about a pound, but again, you can customize however you like. Once this is sauteed down, we can put this to the side as well, and we can start assembling our mac and cheese. So I'll throw in about half of our turkey bacon for now, reserving the rest for garnish. Once that's mixed in, I'll throw in our spinach, giving that a good mix in as well, and of course, we'll give it a good taste for seasoning, and this is good to go. We've added in these different ingredients, but it's still a really great creamy mac and cheese that you could serve just like this, but I want to get baked, so I'm going to grab our baking dish, spraying liberally with our butter spray, and then putting in our mac and cheese mixture, leveling it off nice and even. Then I'm going to grate in every cheese that we use, so a little bit of the pepper jack, cheddar, and parmesan, just grate it over top. It'll give it obviously a nice cheesy, crispy crust on top. Add the rest of our turkey bacon on top, and then a layer of panko breadcrumbs. They're just perfect for this. They give an absolutely amazing crust. I'll hit that with a little bit of butter spray, and then this one is ready to go, but this one's come with me for Thanksgiving, so I will do a quick one just for us. Here's a cast iron pan that I will give a quick spray of butter to. Get our mac and cheese in there, again topping it with our cheese, turkey bacon, and breadcrumbs, hitting it with a little bit more butter spray on top to give it a nice golden crispy crust. 375 for about 20 minutes or so for this little fella. It will come out perfectly golden brown on top and gooey and cheesy in the middle. This is why I bake it. This is why I put the breadcrumbs, so you can get that nice crispy exterior on top of the gooey creamy mac and cheese. Crack through that crispy crust to earn your cheesy reward. Oop, don't drop it like I did mine. And again, this is why I love to bake it, that little crispiness on top of the cheesy creamy noodles. It's exactly how it should be in the middle, like a mac and cheese, creamy, cheesy, gooey. Obviously the spinach in there is almost like cream spinach, with the turkey bacon as well for that nice smoky meatiness, but that crispy crust on top, it just gives it the perfect contrast. That's why I love to bake it. If you're doing the bigger guy like I showed earlier, I'd cover that for about 20 minutes and then do it uncovered for about about 10 minutes in that same 375-degree oven. Use whatever cheese you like, whatever noodles, whatever ingredients. Keep it crispy, keep it cheesy, and get baked, brother.